All right, Councilmember, you can begin.
Good afternoon. I'm Robert White, Council Member at Large and Chair of the Committee on Government Operations and Facilities. Today is Friday, June 4th, 2021, and we are meeting virtually. The time is now 12:09 p.m. and I'm calling to order this additional meeting of the committee. We have a quorum consisting of at-large Council Member Christina Henderson, Ward 1 Council Member Brianne Nadeau, and Ward 2 Council Member Brooke Pinto. Today we are considering 5 measures: PR 24-128, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs Danielle Creek Confirmation Resolution of 2021, PR 24-129, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs James Berry Jr. Confirmation Resolution of 2021, PR 24-130, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs Natasha Dasher Confirmation Resolution of 2021, PR 24-209, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs Larry Moon Confirmation Resolution of 2021, and finally B 24-155, the BB French School Disposition Act of 2021. The first 4 measures would appoint or reappoint the nominated individuals to the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs. The commission, created in 2007, serves as an independent body that advocates for returning citizens, recommends policy to the council and the mayor, and advises the director of the Office on Returning Citizens Affairs. It is comprised of 15 public voting members who are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the council. We held roundtables on all 4 resolutions on May 19th. Public voting members of the commission are appointed with due consideration for significant representation from the returning citizen community and established district-based public, private, nonprofit, and volunteer community organizations involved with the provision of services for returning citizens, the incarcerated, and their families. At least one of the 15 public voting members must be a member of a group, organization, or service provider that focuses on the needs of female returning citizens. Public voting members serve 3-year terms. The first measure on today's agenda, PR 24-128, would appoint Danielle Creek, a Ward 8 resident, as a public voting member of the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs, replacing Stenise Sanders for a term to end August 4th, 2024. The legislation was introduced by Chairman Mendelson at the request of the mayor on March 18th, 2021, and referred to this committee for review. Ms. Creek is a DC licensed attorney who is passionate about returning citizens reintegrating into the community. As a mother and returning citizen, she understands firsthand what obstacles women face, especially single mothers, when returning from incarceration. Ms. Creek would bring her expertise and lived experience to the commission to help spearhead initiatives on issues pertaining to women returning from incarceration and their families. This is a perspective that is often overlooked and one that I am excited for her to bring to the commission as a public voting member. Is there any discussion? Thank you. At this time, I move the committee print and report for PR 24-128, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs Danielle Creek Confirmation Resolution of 2021, with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please indicate by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the resolution passes. The second measure is PR 24-129. It would reappoint James Berry Jr., a Ward 4 resident, as a public voting member of the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs for a term to end August 4th, 2023. The legislation was introduced by Chairman Mendelson at the request of the mayor on March 18th, 2021, and referred to the committee for review. Ms. Berry has served on the commission since October 2017. His entire career has been dedicated to improving the criminal justice system, particularly for those who become involved. Since joining the commission, Mr. Berry has used his expertise and leadership to help it achieve its policy goals, especially around Ban the Box, restoring the vote to incarcerated residents, and promoting career development opportunities for returning citizens. Mr. Berry has high expectations of the commission, and with his continued involvement in leadership, I have no doubt that he will help it continue to improve and achieve its goals during the next term. Mr. Berry also received overwhelming praise and testimony received by the committee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none at this time, I move the committee print and report for PR 24-129, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs, James Berry Jr. Confirmation Resolution of 2021 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed indicate by saying no, although I think we heard all the ayes. In the opinion of the chairs, the ayes have it and the resolution passes. The third resolution on today's agenda, PR 24-130, would appoint Natasha Dasher, a Ward 6 resident, as a public voting member of the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs for a term to end August 4th, 2023. The legislation was introduced by Chairman Mendelson at the request of the mayor on March 18th, 2021, and referred to this committee for review. Ms. Dasher is a returning citizen who understands firsthand the needs women face upon their release, and which are different than those faced by men. In the face of challenges, stigma, and the lack of support, Ms. Dasher navigated her transition back into society after her release. As a member of the commission, she would seek to build the movement and bring awareness to the lack of resources for women and children affected by incarceration. As I mentioned earlier, this is a perspective that we certainly always need more of, and I look forward to Ms. Dasher bringing her passion and expertise to the commission. Is there any discussion? Hearing none at this time, I move the committee print and report for PR 24-130, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs Confirmation, Natasha Dasher Confirmation Resolution of 2021 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
I think that's everyone, but just in case anyone opposed, please indicate by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the resolution passes. The fourth resolution on today's agenda, PR 24-209, would reappoint Larry Moon, a Ward 7 resident, as a public voting member of the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs for a term to end August 4th, 2023. The legislation was introduced by Chairman Mendelson at the request of the mayor on April 23rd, 2021, and referred to this committee for review. Mr. Moon has served on the commission since February 2019. As a returning citizen himself who has faced barriers and stigma, he dedicates his time both professionally and voluntarily to help returning citizens reintegrate back into their communities and mentor them through the difficult process. Given his lived experience and previous tenure on the commission, where he has had exceptional attendance and engagement, Mr. Moon will bring an invaluable perspective to the commission in his second term. I have no doubt that he will keep the momentum of the commission going and will work with other commissioners on areas of improvement to ensure that that they are providing the best possible resources to returning citizens. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I move the committee print and report for PR 24-209, the Commission on Reentry and Returning Citizens Affairs, Larry Moon Confirmation Resolution of 2021, with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
I think that's everyone, but just in case anyone opposed, please indicate by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the resolution passes. The final piece of legislation on the agenda today is B 24-155, the BB French School Disposition Act of 2021. This legislation would clear the tracks for the Department of General Services, or DGS, to grant a new long-term lease to the Capitol Hill Arts Workshop, or CHAW. It is similar to a bill that our colleague, Ward 6 Council Member Charles Allen, introduced early last council period. After some further negotiations between DGS and CHAW, Chairman Mendelson reintroduced the bill on behalf of the mayor on March 16th of this year. The chairman then referred the reintroduced bill to this committee and the Committee on Business and Economic Development sequentially. Our two committees held a joint hearing on this bill on Wednesday, May 26th. As my colleagues are aware, district law typically requires certain processes before a district-owned school building can be declared surplus, that is, declared unnecessary for district government purposes, and then disposed of. Long-term leases like the one proposed here are a form of disposition. The bill before us would constitute an exercise of the council's discretion to bypass some of the normal administrative surplus and disposition proceedings. It would authorize DGS to enter into a 20-year lease with CHAW for the historic building at 545 7th Street Southeast in Ward 6, known as the BB French School. After hearing from representatives of DGS, CHAW, and the general public at last week's joint hearing, I'm satisfied that an expedited surplus and disposition bill is in the district's best interest in this case. Calling CHAW's building the BB French School is a bit of a misnomer at this point. CHAW has used the property continuously as an arts education, studio, and exhibition space for over 40 years, and in that time they have made considerable specialized improvements. We have heard great things about CHAW's benefits to the neighborhood and from public witnesses at a joint hearing on Councilmember Allen's predecessor bill. I was particularly pleased to hear CHAW emphasize how their programming will help to advance racial equity in the arts, in arts education, and in the local arts economy. Moreover, we have heard how a long-term lease is an important prerequisite for CHAW to be able to continue transforming the BB French building into a unique, modern, creative arts facility that serves the district. For these reasons, I move the bill so we can advance it to the Committee on Business and Economic Development for further consideration. Is there discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, I move the committee print and report for B24-155, the BB French School Disposition Act of 2021, with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed indicate by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the resolution passes. The business before the committee is concluded. The time is now 12:22 p.m. and this additional meeting of the Committee on Government Operations and